on, guys. Look alive.
Is it fine, Daryl?
I'm starving.
When free hot breakfast can make or break your day, it matters where you stay.
Go get him.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Your business depends on quality, efficiency, and reliability. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we help you stay ahead with John Deere commercial mowers built for performance. Whether you're maintaining parks, businesses, or neighborhood lawns, you need equipment that works as hard as you do. With expert service, flexible financing, and the best lineup of mowers in the industry, Reynolds keeps your operation running strong. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
In today's rapidly evolving energy landscape, compliance is more than just a checklist. It's the foundation of operational reliability, safety, and trust. And here in Indianapolis, we're honored to be at the heart of that mission. We collaborate with asset owners, operators, helping them stay ahead of NERC standards and grid demands. Our electrical engineering and compliance experts provide hands-on support tailored to your fleet. As expectations rise and regulations evolve, you deserve a partner who brings more than just expertise. You need commitment, clarity, and confidence.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines?
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort, fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with the blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry-out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with On Demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Hey Indiana, let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Electric. Spark with confidence, your trusted electrician partners since 1986. Wheeler Mission, helping our neighbors in need since 1893, thanks to generous, caring individuals like you. Morales Group Staffing, building better futures one store at a time. Let us help you find your next opportunity. LifeWise Academy. LifeWise Academy brings Bible education to public school students during school hours. Learn more at lifewise.org. LIUNA, the Build America Union, 500,000 strong, fighting for better wages, safer job sites, and greater opportunities. And the Indiana SRN Sports Page. From coast to coast, border to border, Indiana SRN brings it home, the Indiana SRN Sports Page. Should be a great one here tonight. Actually, a beautiful night for soccer, Chris. I don't know about you, but when you look at the numbers between these two teams this year, this is very evenly matched, the number 2 and 3 seed, and neither team scores a whole lot. I would not be surprised if we see more than maybe 1 or 2 goals by both teams.
You're not kidding. These two teams tied 0-0 on October 18th. Neither team necessarily has a prolific goal scorer. I would expect them both to have prolific defenses. But the similarities run a lot deeper than that. Transy started out 1-7-2. Rose started out 2-5-1. They both won or tied 8 of their last 9. The team that beat both of them was Mount St. Joseph's. So yes, I would say these two teams are evenly matched, and I would expect a very competitive contest.
Let's talk a little bit about Transylvania, the Pioneers, again the number 3 seed. As you mentioned, off to a slow start this year. They haven't played as well on the road. They're 4-7-1 this year on the road. The numbers don't stand out offensively. What do you see in the Pioneers coming in?
Well, they're going to attempt to possess the ball. They're going to have a lot of competition in that, and I would expect, again, that they'll have a very packed-in defense. But as we talk about styles here, I don't think we're going to see that many differences in terms of the styles. It's going to be about opportunities tonight. Who's going to finish their opportunities?
Are you a little surprised when you look at the two teams from a goal-scoring standpoint? There's just not a player that really stands out at this point in the season?
It's shocking that we're talking about the 2 and 3 seed in the conference tournament here. They've had as much success as they've had. That tells you that they're very skilled in other areas.
And what also is a little surprising over the years, and we'll talk about this as we go, these two teams have really been very even, and it really hasn't mattered too much, seeds or anything like that at all.
Both of these coaches have really been around the block, too. Trip Rogers is in his first year at Transylvania, but he's coached at a number of other Kentucky institutions, Center College, Georgetown College. He's coached with the Kentucky Olympic Development Program. And then at Rose, Amy Hellewell is in her 17th season here, so she's well known in this community. She's been in the NCAA tournament a couple times.
All right, it's going to be Rose-Hulman, Transylvania. We'll talk more about Rose-Hulman coming up in a couple of moments. Don't go away. We'll have the starters next here on RHIT.tv.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Time to go to our public address announcer for tonight's starting lineups.
Number 8, Eva Blank. Number 14, Shelby Eidson. Number 15, Peyton Tan. Number 16, Olivia Thomas. Number 18, Jamie Cottingem. Number 22, Tegan Fahey. Number 24, Ellie Held. Number 32, Grace. Number 0.
Being introduced, we're going to bring it back here, talk a little bit more about these two teams. We're sorry for the technical issues there for the starting lineups. We'll certainly get a chance to talk about all these players as we go tonight. Let's go ahead and talk about Rose-Hulman. They've won their last 3, 6-2 at home this season. You alluded to this earlier. They started their season out at 1-3-1, and then they got things rolling. The number 2 seed in this tournament. Again, a team that doesn't score a whole lot, but defensively and in goal, they are as good as it gets.
And we did get a look at this team a few weeks ago. You and I both did. And I was really impressed, in spite of the lack of one player up front, how well they played as a unit. And the result of that kind of soccer is that on any given night, you can get a goal from multiple players, and that can almost be just as dangerous as if you have one player up front who does all the damage.
By the way, so far this year into the HCAC, Rose-Hulman number 3 in the conference, 29 goals this year. Transylvania, they were number 7 with 20. On the other side, from a scoring standpoint defensively, Rose-Hulman is number 1, only 0.71 goals per contest. Transylvania 4th at 1.16. How do you see this one? Again, probably not going to see a ton of goals here. In fact, we may not see anything till, who knows, close to the end of the second half. But how do you see the keys, both sides?
First one to a goal might be the winner tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be about opportunity. So which team finds that spot to counterattack or to finish a set piece? I don't think the keys are different either way. I think the defense will be solid for both teams. The key for each team will be, how can we find a goal?
To give you an idea, let's talk a little bit about Transylvania. Eva Blank leads the team in goals along with Isabella White, each with 4. Ellie Held has 3, and Gracie Kerrigan has 3. So again, you look at those numbers and you think, they're the leaders on this team, and they have played, 14, 19 matches this year. It's just almost unheard of.
And in order to pull that off, though, you have to have a lot of players on the squad who have scored 2 or 3 goals. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the position that they're in.
By the way, Transylvania knocked off Earlham in the quarterfinals 2-0. They outshot Earlham 14-5. They had an 8-3 edge in the shots on goal. Transylvania, 11 corners. Earlham, no corners in that contest. So that gives you a pretty good idea of how lopsided that was, even though it was only 2-0 in that contest. And Carrie Stevens, the keeper, ended up with 3 saves. Eva Blank and Olivia Thomas each had goals in that win. So we're ready to go. By the way, Rose Holman will be in their all red here tonight. We're Transylvania in their all white. And for people, if Keith was here, since he's colorblind, we'd have to help him on that, but it should be easy to pick out. We have to get a couple of shots in on him tonight. I told everybody we would.
Both teams defending the goal that they warmed up in.
By the way, semifinals, in fact, there are 2 games tonight, and of course then Saturday will be the finals, and the winner will move on to the NCAA tournament, and there'll be more on that coming up, I'm sure, on Monday of next week. Transylvania will have a throw-in just right in front of our broadcast area. Mentioned a couple of the key players for Transylvania tonight, of course, Rose Holman. They're led by Lauren Marquardt, who has 5 goals and 4 assists this year. She's had 16 shots on goal. She, along with Sydney Schuler and Ileana Hernandez, all 3 of those players are in double digits in shots on goal. And perhaps if you're looking at a shot on goal percentage, Hernandez leading the team at .769, though you look at Schuler, she's also at .519.
And Hernandez not in the starting lineup. We did get a heads up that there were a couple injuries. So we'll have to see if she makes an appearance in the game.
A lot of play will be done here at midfield, and of course, as we talk about it throughout the broadcast here today, we may not even see many shots on goal. That's just how good both these teams defensively are. And advancing that ball is not going to be easy either, is it?
No, it's not. And we talked about keys, and we were kind of remiss to not have mentioned the importance of midfield tonight. Probably the team that wins the midfield will be the team that gets that opportunity that changes the game.
Any advantage, do you think, after the 2 teams played already once this year, to come back and play in tournament time? And it's nothing new. Most of the time you'll see that team again if you're planning on advancing. Any advantage other than maybe Rose Holman being at home?
Yeah, I think that's the main one that I'm thinking about, and I do think it's a big deal. They didn't have to travel, and you know they've got their own fans here. Yeah, I would have to think that, and they're the higher seed as well.
By the way, the conference points determined the seeding, and Mount St. Joseph just 3 points better than Rose Holman, the number 1 and number 2 seeds, with Transylvania at number 3 and Hanover. They were at number 4, though they tied in the point numbers at the end of the season, but Hanover wins the tiebreaker. They were the number 4 seed. And again, that other semifinal going on tonight as well. Transylvania looking to advance this ball into the attacking third. Ball goes out of play, and it will go over now to the Fighting Engineers. Elizabeth Johnson has had an excellent year this season for Rose Holman. She's only given up 12 goals all season, a goals against average at .73. Her save percentage, in fact, 33 saves, her save percentage at .733. 9-6-1 record this year for the Fighting Engineers.
If you're looking for something to notice early in this game, most of the play has been in the front for Transylvania, and I think that's a good sign for them.
You will see the keeper put this one in play again for the Fighting Engineers. I was talking, you and I worked semi-state not too long ago here in the state of Indiana between not only boys and girls action, but that feeling out process and how important it is early, though you know each other very well as a coach, and you've coached this sport and many others. Is there something that you might wrinkle a little bit first, or are you going to stay with the game plan that you came in with and kind of see how the game goes from there?
Well, I think most coaches and teams that trust themselves are going to stick with the plan, but certainly you can notice lineup changes or something that you didn't expect early in that feeling out process in the first 10-15 minutes of the game. Maybe they're sending one more attacker, maybe someone's playing out of position, that sort of thing. And we saw that a few weeks ago as one of the offensive players was playing defense and how that affected the whole game.
Have a whistle here on the near side that will go against Transylvania, so the Fighting Engineers will take over possession. Just underway here at Rolls-Hulman. Thanks for being with us here as our semifinal matchup just underway. Winner of this one again will move on to the finals coming up on Saturday. And by the way, we'll be at both the men's and women's finals on Saturday in the HCAC. And I think if I'm not mistaken, the men's 2 semifinals will be tomorrow.
That's correct.
Ball taken away at midfield. Rose-Hulman able to come back with it once again.
Transylvania on the men's side is the number 1 seed.
Rose-Hulman will advance this one to the far side, look to advance it, and it goes a little bit too far. Turnover there for Rose-Hulman.
Trying to find Sydney Schuler. If you're looking for a player on the offensive side of the ball for Rose-Hulman to watch, that's probably her. She has 4 goals and 6 assists on the season. Those 6 assists, 3rd in the conference.
And by the way, defensively, congratulations to Camille Clark of Rose-Hulman, named the Defensive Player of the Week in the HCAC. Transylvania looking for their first opportunity. That ball will ricochet to the far side, kept in play, and Rose-Hulman will look to advance it up the right sideline.
That did look exciting for a moment there. And it could have gone 2 ways positively for Transylvania that it did not go in. So one is, she could have scored or at least gotten a dangerous opportunity, but she also could have gotten fouled there. I don't think she did get fouled there, and certainly the official agreed, but that could have happened based on that collision.
Eva Blank there for Transylvania, unable to keep it in play. So again, Fighting Engineers will take over and go on the counterattack here. Coming up on 38 minutes remaining in the first half. Neither team so far has had a look on goal at this point as we play at midfield. And a lot of 50-50 balls. This will also be interesting to see how this plays out. Who's going to win those 50-50 balls and able to go on the counterattack the other way. And you see Transylvania giving it up quickly. Rose-Hulman right back. So we've gone basically back and forth here in the first half. Neither team really getting a whole lot of command at this stage. Another takeaway. Fighting Engineers looking to advance it into the attacking third. Can they get something here in the first half? And they will not.
Alex Adams just misplayed it. She's looking for Sydney Schuler.
Yeah, Alex Adams, a senior out of Independence, Ohio. That is Adams once again in control. We talk about, you get it to this stage many times in playoff action, as that one is headed toward the goal, and it will ricochet away, and this one will go into the net, and our first goal of the contest.
That's huge.
Looks like it might have been Zoe Thompson.
I had Marcotte We'll have to get another look at.
Is that who it was? Let's take a look.
Yeah,
it
is
McCod.
Number
3.
You know, as you watch, she was so deliberate there, and what she's trying to do is get her body over the ball so she doesn't just blast that thing over the net, and she did such a good job of striking that ball. It really wasn't an easy ball to play at all, but just such a good play there.
So there is your first goal of the night.
Checking on the goalie for Transylvania. That's Carrie Stevens. A little bit of a collision there on the cross from Schuler. And when that ball was initially played to the corner, I didn't think Schuler was even going to get there. So great job by Schuler, because she had a big part in making that play happen as well.
Well, we just talked about a little bit ago, the first team who scores might be the last one, but we have a whole lot of soccer to be played here as they will check out and make sure that the keeper is going to be okay, which that would be a huge loss here for Transylvania, but it looks like she'll be okay, working a little bit on that neck area and that right shoulder. Boy, but that's, you hate to overemphasize a goal this early because we have so much yet to be played, but that kind of, we talk about setting the tone, and that might be certainly for Rose-Hulman really being at home as well as they play. I think they're 6-2 at home. They're tough to beat here. That could be big.
Yeah, I mean, these two teams went 90 minutes without that happening, just a few weeks ago. So the fact that we get that early of a goal is a little bit shocking to me.
So 1-0 here in the first half.
Again, we talk about opportunities, and Transylvania did have a little bit of an opportunity just a moment ago. I don't think they did anything wrong on the chance, but they weren't able to convert. And then that was really Rose-Hulman's first good-looking attack there, and sure enough, they find a way to find the back of the net.
Well, if you do not take advantage of opportunities, you may not get many more. As Zoe Thompson once again able to put that ball in the attacking third.
Yeah, it was definitely a foul. Got her from behind.
So it'll go back over now to the Pioneers.
It's Allie Smith for Rose-Hulman. Just got her on the back of the leg.
Ball played here at midfield. Transylvania working there with Gracie Kerrigan.
Early on in this game, impressed with both teams, just the control of their first touch. They usually know where they want to go with it.
Olivia Thomas able to bring that one across midfield, and now Pioneers can get a look here. Oh, and that one goes out of play. Shelby Eidson trying to make that move. I think she was looking to go back to the inside and unfortunately could not hold on. So a turnover, give it back now to Rose-Hulman.
You have to feel good about that possession, though, for Transylvania, because it started all the way in the back and it ended up looking pretty dangerous in the penalty area, and that was just passing.
Ball cleared away once again, and this is a Rose-Hulman defense that is just very, very good. Tough to penetrate against for the most part, as Transylvania will regain possession here. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Reynolds Farm Equipment, the leading equipment dealer serving farmers, homeowners, landscapers, and commercial contractors in the state of Indiana. Nothing runs like a deer. Give them a call at 317-849-0810. Pioneers were starting to at least show some momentum there on the attack.
It's Ellie Held. She's a freshman. She's had it a couple times up there.
Just outside the box as we are under 34 minutes. Nice ball to the inside. Unfortunate, a little bit off the mark as it'll be clear to the near side and out of play. It'll stay here with Transylvania. Tegan Fahey will put it in play on the throw-in. Pioneers still looking to get a look here, and as you said earlier, they've had it down in the attacking third a couple of times, but so far have not been able to do anything offensively. And now Rose-Hulman able to clear it past midfield. Alex Adams here to the near side. Adams head up looking to see who might be available, and that ball will go past the end line. Looks like we'll have our first corner.
Nice job by Adams just to feel the space a little bit and feel like I can get by her on the outside at least enough to attempt a cross, which she does. Deflects out of bounds, but a lot of times that's just as good.
Well, many times you look at a corner situation like this, it's a scoring opportunity, and able to reach up and snag that one mid-air, so apparently everything is okay for the keeper. Mentioned her being a little shaken up moments ago, but not this time, as Stevens coming off that win over Earlham. Their defense only gave up 3 shots on goal the whole night. Rose-Hulman trying to advance it once again. Good play here at midfield. And now the near side. That's where it can be frustrating at times for an offense when you see the way that Rose-Hulman is able to play defense right here.
Yeah, I'm really impressed so far with Trancy's play in the midfield. They're getting the ball forward, but at that stage, then it just becomes a game of, wow, Rose-Hulman's defense is actually really good. Both one-on-one and collectively, they're winning the battles. That's an interesting foul there. That was pretty close to a 50-50 from my vantage point.
Well, Coach Hellewell of Rose-Hulman had her hands out like, why did you call that right there? So it'll be a free kick near midfield. As many times you and I have talked about it, anytime we do games, again, you kind of depend on what the angle may be for the official, kind of depends on positioning, and all those things play a factor into what could be called and how people see it differently. And a good job here. Rose-Hulman clears it out of bounds. That generally means you have a chance to reset your defense here.
They've done that a few times early in this game, and that shows you how confident they are in their defensive unit. They're pretty comfortable just tapping it out of bounds and setting up.
After the throw-in, takeaway once again for the Fighting Engineers. 1-0 early in this one.
It's a great find from the back all the way to Adams. And another pretty pass.
Trying to advance this one now past midfield, and they will, as Alex Adams looking to the right side. Once again, though, the attack thwarted at that point. And that will roll all the way to the keeper. And Rose-Hulman unable to advance it again. So see what Transylvania can do here. They haven't had success so far. Play at midfield. It'll be controlled here by the Pioneers. We do get an update on another semifinal. We'll definitely pass that along to you.
We've talked about this before with Rose-Hulman, but with all these engineering majors of some sort which are laid out in front of us, you know, do they have an advantage with the geometry and the angles in this game?
Well, I know they would over me for sure. It'd probably be like 6 or 7-0 if I was playing.
Those shin guards coming out for Allie Smith. They're also on her side, so I don't think those are going to protect her very well.
Another throw in here for Transylvania. Unsuccessful, taken away. As now Rose-Hulman looking to advance it again, and unfortunately nobody there on the kick. by Addison Tiller out of Grayson, Kentucky. Or take that back. We'll go the other way.
It's Vienna Garcia. I was just impressed a couple moments ago with some of her through balls to some of her teammates. But, yeah, on that one, she had one idea and her target had a different idea about what they're trying to do.
Talk about the communication. And, again, you've played 20-plus matches to this point. You've been through practice a lot. I know there's a couple of injuries and maybe a player or two not normally in the lineup that you would be, but talk about the communication that you have between one player and another.
Yeah, so first of all, there's a lot of anticipation like in any sports, and the more you play with someone, the more you kind of know what their tendencies are. They like to make a certain kind of run, and so sometimes you don't have to say a word. You just know that in this particular situation, here's what they're going to do. But soccer is a game where you can say a lot to each other. There's a lot of talk going on out there. We don't necessarily decipher exactly what's being said, but yeah, there's plenty of talking going on out there.
Yeah, like you said a little bit ago, sometimes you don't have to say, just make that eye contact. You kind of know what each other is going to do. As Pioneers give it up once again. Ball all the way to the midfield circle. Header now to the near side. Let's see if Transylvania can advance it, though. This defense has been very good midfield. Now for Rose-Hulman, they'll look to advance it now to the far side. Speaking of Transylvania, you talk about ball control. A lot of times players will have a tendency to get maybe a little bit excited, just kick instead of looking to see what might be available to them. But you really want to do possess as much as you can.
Well, and I do think that, we were talking about the styles of these two teams, and I do actually think they're, now that I'm watching them both on the same field, they do stylistically approach the game a little bit different. I think Rose-Hulman really trusts their defensive back four. They feel like they're going to win that matchup most of the time, and when they do, then they look to attack pretty quickly in the front, whereas Transylvania tries to possess the ball a lot more and try to sort of methodically work the ball up the field.
Back to midfield once again. Each team just trading possessions here. Transylvania near side. And it will be cleared out of play. And back over now to the Fighting Engineers. Mount St. Joseph and Hanover still no score in their contest in the other semifinal. Throw in there by Rose-Hulman's number 13, which is Allie Smith. I wouldn't imagine when you look at those two teams, two on the other side of the bracket, that you're going to see a whole lot of scoring in that contest either. You talk about intensity picking up as well, and we both coached in tournament situations. There's such a different feeling about tournament play than there is about the regular season. Not that the regular season isn't important, by far it is, but it's a do or die situation now, and players have a tendency to kind of gear it up a little bit more.
Well, and soccer is a game where you feel like, kind of like in basketball, especially if there's a shot clock, right? If you're the inferior team, then you want to really slow the game down. In soccer, if you have a sense that this is a team that we're going to have trouble keeping up with, what you can do is pack basically all of your players down on the defensive end and just try to keep that score 0-0 as long as you can. Maybe you get something lucky going forward, or maybe you just play for overtime and penalty kicks. I don't think that's the situation in this one at all, but that can happen in postseason soccer.
Ball went out of play, so it will be Transylvania with a throw-in. Our advantage where we are right here in the broadcast booth that we're located in, you can hear a lot of the coaches' instructions and players that are yelling to their teammates and a lot of communicating going on. So it's always interesting for us once in a while, especially me, just to kind of be quiet and listen to what they have to say.
And you mentioned the beautiful fall night that we have. We were here about a month ago, right? And it was in the middle of the afternoon. And I'll tell you what, I'll take early November over that day every day of the week.
Yeah, it was a little warm that day, wasn't it?
It was, sweaty.
Ball played again at midfield as Transylvania looking to dump behind, and there's a good takeaway. Chance here for the Fighting Engineers once again. Good ball to the middle, and it's knocked away. Well, again, that Transylvania defense coming up big. As that ball's cleared out of play, it'll go back over now to the Pioneers.
And again, you do see Sydney Schuler playing out kind of on that right wing. And when she gets the ball in her feet going up the sideline, you can tell that she's dangerous with it. She can do some different things. You can see why she has 6 assists, because she probably just works that sideline and then crosses, and she's got players on the other end of it who can finish.
Boy, a foot race to that ball deep in the corner, and the Pioneers come away with it. Boy, but good physical plays. Rose Holman able to get a takeaway there and thwart another offensive opportunity now for Transylvania, as we're under 23 minutes remaining here in the first half.
See the miscommunication there again. Schuler's going away from it. Our teammate thought she was going to check back to it.
Contact there. That's a whistle. Go against the Pioneers. We will have a change now for Rose Holman here in a couple of moments. I was mentioning to you, Chris, on the way over, when you looked at the box score, in that not just the last time these two teams played, but when Transylvania played Earlham, I mean, they used a lot of players. I'm talking about 20 plus, which is very unusual when you think about going that deep on your bench.
When you talked about some of the statistical markers that made that game not particularly close, but the score wasn't a blowout necessarily, so you don't know how many of those players just stepped on the field late. But yeah, we haven't seen much subbing from Transy so far, but yeah, that number was striking.
By the way, in case you're curious, Ileana Hernandez will be stepping in. She's out of Sewanee, Georgia, the sophomore, and one of their top players, number 17, will be checking into the lineup. And Gabby Hansen out of Aurora, Colorado, played her high school at Grandview High School. So those will be the first couple of subs we'll see for Rose Holman.
And Hernandez is a player that can do some damage up front, so it's one of the players that we mentioned. We weren't sure if we were going to see her tonight or not. Apparently we are.
Ball lifted back to the attack area now for Rose Holman. They'll look to reverse it to the far side as things kind of slow up a little bit. Now for the Fighting Engineers, that ball lifted into the box and quickly scooped up there. So Rose Holman gives it up. As we continue play here in the first half. You mentioned with Hernandez coming in, she's number 9 in the conference in shots, 9th in points. So players you mentioned very valuable offensively for Rose Holman.
And it's a luxury to be able to bring someone off the bench who has that much danger when she steps on the field.
Ball just outside the attacking third, quickly cleared by Rose Holman. So now the Pioneers trying to advance it as well to the far side. And unfortunately, their offense stopped once again. They just have not been consistent so far here tonight in getting that offense rolling. But it is also not a surprise, again, with the way that this Rose Holman team defends, especially those frontline defenders and everything at midfield, which they pretty much dominated at this point. And we will see the first changes again for Transylvania coming in as well.
If we ever get a stoppage. It's one of the fun things about soccer is you go up there, you think you're going in, you might stand there for another 10 minutes.
Well, luckily, they won't have to wait too much longer. As we mentioned, the two players coming in for Rose Holman, Hansen and Hernandez.
Do have a fourth official over here monitoring these subbing situations.
Tell you about the two new players that will be coming in. Transylvania unable to get them in time, so they will have to wait. If you just joined us, we had that goal very early here in the first half. Thanks to Zoe Thompson, and since then it's been relatively quiet on both sides of the offense for both teams.
Nice little cut back this way. That was tricky. This Rose-Hulman defense is just so reliable.
Well, and they chase everywhere too, don't they? I mean, it just doesn't seem like there's any breathing room at all so far for the Pioneers, even at midfield.
You can tell they work a lot on that side of the ball, and it really shows.
Yeah, it certainly does. That 50-50 ball picked up here by Rose-Hulman. We just mentioned Hansen coming into the lineup and already a factor early for Rose-Hulman, as now the Pioneers will look to advance it. Ellie held here to the near side. One thing we probably haven't seen too much yet, a lot of times you see a team that is trailing at some point, but mostly in the second half things get a little more physical. We haven't seen that in this game so far here tonight.
Well, and these two types of teams are not the kinds of teams, not that they're incapable of fouling or roughing someone up or anything like that, but they're so technically skilled that their strategy is much more about playing the ball well, receiving the ball well, than it is about, you know, being the more physical team on the field.
Boy, Rose-Hulman had a chance there moments ago. They had it in the box, unfortunately unable to get even a shot on it. And on this possession,
here's one way you'll see the physical nature of Rose-Hulman, though, is just when the ball is received by a Transy player, their back is almost always to the field. And that's because they're trying to fend off the defender, and they're a lot less dangerous when their back is to the field.
Makes a huge difference, as you see. That will carry him out of bounds here on the near side.
Did you see she turned backwards toward her goal and slammed it off the opponent? I have the sense that she did that intentionally. She knew exactly what she was doing there. Very smart play. When she first turned, I was like, she's just going to blast it in the wrong direction. But no, that's not what she was doing at all.
That was Allie Smith on the throw-in. Turnover again there for Rose-Hulman. Will be 3 new players coming in for Transylvania. We'll tell you about the 3 once they make it onto the pitch. Want to remind you that today's game brought to you in part by Beatty Insurance, a company which understands your industry and what's on the line for you. Call Lance at 812-522-5640. Coming in will be McKenna Johnson. She wears number 30. Also number 10, I believe Jinja Mooser is checked in.
I don't know that I've ever seen this before, where there's this water fountain of sorts right in front of us that both teams can use as they're coming off the field or going in.
By the way, the other player that is checked in is Mackenzie Wallace out of Louisville, Kentucky. She's a freshman. Yeah, that could be an interesting situation if you, a couple of players have something to say to one another. Because I know you would as a player.
No, no.
See, Chris tries to tell us that he was a clean. I'm sure you're a very clean player.
I talked in this same tone as a broadcaster.
Do you? Did you really?
No.
I was going to say, I find that hard to believe.
No, as you and I have talked, one of the things we have in common is some experience in the officiating world, and my experience in the officiating world calmed me down a lot as a fan.
I hear you, and I agree. Yeah, not just as a fan, but as a coach.
Yeah.
When you got to that side of it, when I was coaching, it was fun to get on the official, but now they became an official. It doesn't seem quite as much fun, does it?
Yeah. One of those roles that everyone should have to play at some point in their lives.
Well, as Nick, our producer, knows, when I become Supreme Emperor, we will change that too. If you want to be a fan, you have to take a class as an official.
Yes, good.
Pioneers trying to advance it up the right sideline, and once again, they just haven't had a whole lot of success this early as that ball goes past the end line. It'll go back over now to the Fighting Engineers.
A lot of patience there from Camille Clark. I also want in on the business model for your plan, Troy.
Do you?
You know, if there's going to be a class that all fans everywhere have to take, I think I should get a part of the profits.
I tell you what, if you run some of the classes, you can have some of the profits.
No, we got to automate that. We gotta.
Well, we're coming up on the 12-minute mark now in the first half. It has been a rough first half here for Transylvania, just trying to find something offensively, and so far it has just not been their evening. Boy, even when you try to get a ball off like that, Peyton Tan looked like she was going to have a clear shot, at least a decent look, and it was ricocheted out of play, so the offense has to start over again and basically gives the defense a chance to reset, and then you turn it over.
Rose gives it right back.
Ooh. Yeah, that was a deep shot, that one, but wide right.
I like the idea, though, because that ball was right in the – it was just high enough off the ground that if you strike that well, really good things can happen there. And the worst thing that happens is you blast it way over the goal, and it's a goal kick.
Exactly. So let's see if the Fighting Engineers can get something going as that ball quickly taken away. We'll have a throw in here to the near side. Allie Smith will put it in play. A little bit off the mark. It looked like it might have been intended there for Katie Choi. But now we're heading the other way. Here's Hernandez, who we talked about moments ago.
You see her burst immediately.
A lot of speed there, too, as she was able to get it quickly down the pitch.
Yep.
Smith will have a throw in once again. Let's see if the Fighting Engineers can get it in position to get a look here. Oh, it looked like that might have been an opportunity. Unfortunately, Emma Johns unable to control it, and a turnover here will stay with Transylvania.
Yeah, it looked like she just kind of lost her balance there. Looked like a pretty good ball from Hernandez.
Well, Transylvania so far, and again, we don't know the circumstances of the amount of players they played, even when these two teams played the last time. But so far, just 3 off the bench.
There's a fourth coming here.
And it will be number 4, as you just alluded to moments ago. We have a throw in here. Tegan Fahey will put it in play. And now the question is, can they get it in position? A little bit of a foul from behind there on Rose Holman. Looks like Allie Smith.
Not the first time she's done that. Be interesting to watch. I don't know if that's a tendency of hers or not, but usually you start doing that a third time and you think about pulling the card out.
A little bit of movement there as they prepare for this kick. That wall is only too wide on this one. Ball kind of sailed a little bit to the left on that kick. I would imagine they would have loved everybody heading a little bit more toward the goal, but unfortunately the kick did not go that way. So as we come up on the 9-minute mark, got a throw in here for Rose Holman. 1-0 your score. Last report we had on our other semifinal, still no score in that contest. Coming into the lineup will be Anna Pierre-Salisi out of Memphis, Tennessee. She's wearing number 7. We'll see her for the first time here tonight. One thing about it from a substitution standpoint, too, Chris, you gotta know you're going to have some bodies fresh in that second half. And so you got to be very careful on how you're going to sub.
Yeah, and I think both teams, even with the early goal, expect this to be, a 1-0 at worst kind of game late. So, I don't see too many scenarios in which this becomes any kind of blowout. And just as I say that, Hernandez takes off with an opportunity.
Boy, look at the speed on Hernandez, and she will not get a chance.
But she played it off Trancy, so
yep.
Again, the opportunity continues.
So a corner from the right corner. Well, that's pretty impressive how fast she is.
Yeah, it's no accident that her numbers stand out too. Interesting. I wonder why she doesn't start, because she clearly seems to maybe it's a fitness or an injury or something like that. But she seems to have the skill level that you would want out there all the time.
And when you're around sports long enough, sometimes from a coaching standpoint, you think this player is good enough to start, but boy, what a spark we can get from her off the bench, right?
Totally. Yep. See that in basketball a lot, but the same principle can apply in soccer.
Throw in quickly taken away as the evening progresses, gets a little bit cooler. The wind had picked up a little bit earlier, but right now not really a factor at this stage.
It's a nice play by Garcia. Step in there.
Rose Holman again, a takeaway at midfield, and now they look to advance.
Oh, nice play.
Chance here to the near side. Emma Johns looking ahead. Here's Hernandez, and a whistle.
Is that interesting? I'd love to see the.
Was that an offside?
See the VAR on that one. That's what the call was. Yeah.
Well, I've told you before, we've worked together. We'll eliminate that too when we become Supreme Emperors.
Again, our angle wasn't good, but I just felt like she was aware of where she was, and she was trying to make her run right as the ball was played to her, which is the way the rule is written. But apparently the official thought she left a little too early.
Rose Holman, another opportunity. And I think the way they're looking at that, should be a corner, I believe.
Yeah, it should be a corner.
Boy, that was very, very close to making this a 2-0 contest.
Schuler out there to take it.
Ball curves past the top of the box area, but it will stay here with Rose Holman.
Oof.
Left foot, that will go behind the goal.
Just needed to turn her body just a little bit more, and that would have been a perfect cross.
And we're coming up on 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Not a whole lot of time to get ready when you win this one tonight, as you have basically then 3 days to prepare for the championship game on Saturday. Rose Holman able to get another takeaway, and in position once again. A good ball, and that's going to go in.
And that's Schuler. She got her 7th assist earlier, and now she gets her 5th goal.
Wow.
So 3 points in the game for her.
So Schuler. And that was about as good of a ball as you're going to see.
You're not getting to that one.
Wow.
And this is a team, not to say that Trancy couldn't come back, but this is a team that's very, very difficult to mount that sort of comeback against because they're so strong in the back. I
had misspoke earlier about Zoe Thompson. It was actually Marquardt who had gotten that goal earlier. So Marquardt and Schuler each with goals, and it's 2-0.
And that one in the last 5 minutes of the half, which is just devastating for Transy.
Yeah, especially since they've had such a difficult time doing anything offensively here in the first half. And another takeaway. Boy, that looked like a obvious foul right there. They'll let him play through it.
There's an interesting signal there from the referee.
What do you say, get up?
Usually when you put your hands out like that, it means play on. I'll call. That's interesting. That could have been a foul too. Oh, we got a little feistiness out there.
There we go. Yeah, we were looking for it.
These teams want to win, I think.
Well, you and I have had matches where we talk about what could happen in the second half, and the team behind generally picks it up a little more.
Yeah.
Gets more physical.
Sure. And then sometimes it's a matter of the second one gets caught, too.
Yeah. Transylvania, they have an opportunity here. That ball looked like they were trying to center that ball. Unfortunately, went out of play here in the near side.
I would have loved to see that just get launched from there.
And I thought that's basically what was going to happen.
It's probably a little bit too deep, but.
Yeah, some players aren't as comfortable with going as deep as what we saw there a little bit ago. Some love to go deep.
Yeah, I think Sidney Schuler would have launched that.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Boilermaker Local 374. They represent highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication in Indiana. Whether it's a new build, upgrade, or facility maintenance, you can count on Local 374 to get the job done right the first time. Transylvania, opportunity here. Under 2.5 remaining. Again, the offense stopped. Fighting Engineers in the counterattack very quickly down the pitch. Boy, stopping on a dime. Ball is centered to the middle and then eventually cleared. That was very impressive, the way that they were able to advance it as quick as they did, and only that, but they were able to stop almost on a dime.
Yeah, and one of the strengths of this Rose-Hulman offensive team is how quickly they transition.
Oh, and a great ball to the middle, and unfortunately didn't get a clean look.
It's Katie Choi. Would like to have that one back, I'm sure. But again, it's Schuler that's making that play happen. That could have very easily been her second assist of the game.
Choi, the senior, out of Lake Zurich, Illinois. Well, that would have been a huge, huge goal to make it 3-0 before we go to halftime.
Schuler seems to have very good instincts, too, about when to lift the ball and when to just pound the ball in on the ground. There's a time for each. Are you trying to go to the back post, or are you trying to go right to the middle of the field?
And as you hear right there, 1 minute remaining here in the first half.
There we see Garcia's passing again. Oh.
Well, since Hernandez has come in, it seems like the offense has really picked up a lot for Rose-Hulman. Gives them an added weapon, doesn't it?
Yeah, suddenly you have to be worried both about the middle and the right side.
Gonna have to work quick right here with 20 seconds and counting in the first half. Not enough time, I believe, here for Transylvania to do anything with it.
10, 9, 8, 7,
and Rose will be just happy right here to let this one
3, 2,
roll out in the first half. And a excellent first half for the Fighting Engineers in a game in which we really didn't think there would be a whole lot of scoring at all, and in a lot of ways it hasn't been, but 2 goals in that first half for Rose-Hulman, and now they're kind of in the driver's seat going into the second half.
Nothing kind of about it. They sure are. And one thing we did discuss was just the importance of of opportunities and taking advantage of your opportunities, which team finds a way to finish them. And not only did Rose-Hulman finish them, but they could have had more. There was more opportunities out there. And again, kind of the methodical possession game of Transy versus the quick counterattack of Rose-Hulman. And so far, Rose-Hulman is winning on the defensive end, and then that counterattack is dangerous going forward.
We will take a timeout. It is halftime. Rose-Hulman leading Transylvania 2-0 here on RHIT.TV.
When I catch myself becoming curious, I notice my peripheral vision attenuating.
There's definitely a thrill.
Definitely keeps me up at night.
I think I'm somebody who, when I'm curious about something, I take immediate action. I'm immediately like running.
Curiosity for me, if I had to describe it in terms of a physical sensation, it would definitely be an itch. I have to scratch that until that sensation is gone.
It is definitely just an itch I can't scratch until I figure out what's going on, figure out what is at the bottom of everything.
It was really appealing to me knowing that there was some hidden magic behind this veil of darkness. I do really like space. Space is one of my favorite things, just in general, all of space. 10 out of 10.
The kind of brain that thrives is a curious mind.
Curiosity is such an important part of the academic endeavor.
And without curiosity, we wouldn't have the society we have today.
You don't explore the unknown if you're not curious.
In your students' eyes, I live for that. I teach for that.
I mean, you can't teach curiosity. You just need to encourage your student to be curious. Curious in anything that they do. Curious so that it brings out the innovations, the new ideas.
A lot of times when you come to Rose, students will say the work is hard. And it is.
There's rumors about the difficulties of Rose-Hulman. I would say they're on par for the most part.
But 9 times out of 10, at the end, the student's going to end with that statement, but it's worth it, or I really enjoy it. And I think that's really the key part. Like, if you really like doing something, it's going to be a lot of work.
So the commonality is just the love for science and math. Mathematics is really the basis of all science and engineering. It's the language that we use.
We need to make sure that they have that backbone in order to succeed as future scientists and engineers.
We collaborate as faculty, and they see how one class starts to impact another class.
Math, science, technology, how intertwined they are.
Our students are very driven in everything that they're doing.
Is that opportunity to be pushed, because we do push the student to see what it is that you're actually capable of. We're not just saying, here, go do this hard project. We are right there with them. I think that matters.
Our job is to create a safe place to fail. That would be terrifying if you did that alone.
That results in students that are ready to walk out of the door and into their place of work, ready to be a productive contributor.
So our professors all know us by name.
It was refreshing to know that I would have a relationship with my professors.
And I think that's key.
Because of the very low class size here, it gives me, the instructor, an opportunity to actually be engaged with the students.
We know who's struggling, we know who's doing well, we know who's getting it.
Basically, everybody knows everybody here.
The faculty are there for you.
All of our students are advised 100% by faculty.
Your professors already know you. Even if you haven't met them, chances are your professors have talked about you to other professors.
And we do all of our classes in 10 weeks.
Very fast-paced.
So as difficult as the courses might be, as rigorous
and difficult
as it might feel for those 10 weeks, you know that everyone here has your back.
I think the big thing that I want people to always know when I talk about Rose-Hulman is we, the faculty, are here at Rose-Hulman because we love teaching. That is the reason we are here, and I think that sets us apart from all other institutions.
A good engineer, a good mathematician, a good scientist can identify problems.
But in order to be a great scientist or engineer, you've got to have curiosity and you've got to have creativity, and that's what's going to set you apart.
You can't teach curiosity. You just need to encourage your students to be curious. Curious in anything that they do. Curious so that it brings out the innovations, the new ideas.
Finding the right answer and trying again, that's really what dragged me to aerospace. I saw other people making amazing stuff on 3D printers, and I thought if I combine that art of 3D printing with engineering, I could make something as complex as an airplane. It all changed when I came to Rose-Hulman. I feel amazing that I have still 3 years to do something much more complex.
Hello and welcome to Game Day. My name is Keith Myers. I'm the Vice President of IndianaSRN. We're glad that you joined us today. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN. This means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
We welcome you back again to Rose-Hulman. It is 2-0 here at halftime of this semifinal. The winner again will move on to the championship coming up on Saturday. And, of course, we'll have that for you on HCAC.TV. So look forward to that here coming up in the next few days. But we have to now look to the second half, and we generally take you a little bit inside the locker room, and Chris will be the coach for both teams. Let's start first off for Rose-Hulman. Relentless in many ways in the first half in their attack, and they just kept putting the pressure on Transylvania in that first half and came away with 2 goals. And you and I talked about it in the pregame. We really didn't think you were going to see a whole lot of scoring, maybe either way. But this might be a little bit of a surprise for Mendy to see Rose-Hulman up 2-0 in this one.
Yeah, and if the beauty of a plan that's working is you don't have to tweak it very much. So
Right.
Just keep playing great defense, and you've got weapons going forward in the counterattack. I won't be at all surprised if I see Transylvania come out here and try to be more aggressive offensively. Of course, the problem with that is if it doesn't work out, if you push too many forward, and then that counterattack's going in the other direction with Sidney Schuler and or with Hernandez, you're in trouble. So that 2-0 can pretty easily become 3 or 4 if you're putting too much effort into the offense. But you have to put more effort into the offense. It's 2-0, your season's on the line.
Yeah, a lot of gambling has to go on, and we'll be interested to see what the strategy will be in the second half for Transylvania. On the other side for Rose-Hulman, I guess kind of like what you say before, just keep doing what you're doing because it worked in the first half.
Yeah, and they could live with, I don't necessarily think it will happen, but they could live with staying right exactly here the rest of the way. If nothing happened in the second half, I don't think Rose-Hulman would be bothered in the least. Again, just based on the position that Transylvania is in, I think they'll have to play to score goals, and in order to play to score goals, you have to risk defensively. So I will be shocked if we finish 2-0. It'll probably be 3 or 4-0, or it could be 2-1 or 2-2. You know, but I don't think it'll be 2-0. But if it would be 2-0 at the finish, Rose-Hulman wouldn't be upset about that.
Well, Brooke Spurlock, we haven't really had to call her name much tonight, have we? It just hasn't been anything there. It's not, I mean, I'm sure that some of the fans that are watching are wondering if she's even playing. Yes, she is playing, but she hasn't been challenged as of yet.
And again, that's just because your individual defenders are playing well one-on-one, but they're also playing great collectively. They're coming over to help when they need to. And, yeah, that's the luxury of a good defensive unit, is that your goalie is just kind of a glorified fan back there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, tonight's game brought to you in part by Piper Logistics. For more than 2 decades, the seasoned professionals at Piper have been the trusted partners for inventory management, warehouse fulfillment, and transportation. If you'd like more information, call Piper Logistics at 317-396-1023. And by Dynamark Graphics Group. Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. They've been serving the Indianapolis area for over 50 years. Dynamark builds strong relationships through exceptional service. Give them a call, 317-328-2555. Second half coming up in a moment here on RHIT.TV.
So my goal is to get involved in space industry and learn about what lies beyond the Earth's horizon. I came across Rose Rocketry. I saw, hey, they're doing some really cool stuff. They're building rockets. Being at Rose, I was able to hone my engineering skills to push myself to get involved in the field further and learn about all these different opportunities. And I don't think I would have really gotten that at a bigger university.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, insulting referees,
threatening officials,
berating young umpires, learning the ropes,
Violent language in the stands,
screaming at a referee in the parking lot. It's not a game.
So I started working on Babcock Ranch 16 years ago. We designed a sustainable community that is also storm resilient, and also it has a ton of flood control associated with it. It has 75 megawatt solar facilities on site, which will cover the entire 18,000 acre community. In September of 2022, we had Hurricane Ian. We had 150 miles an hour sustained winds for about 10 hours and 21 inches of rain. Babcock really had little to no damage at all. We were the only place in a 2-county area that had any electric or any available drinking water that did not need to be boiled. And Rose really prepares you to go out, think outside the box, and problem solve. And I think for any major at Rose-Hulman, that's what you're getting. You have the ability to go out and create something new and innovate and change the way that we live as humans today.
Back here at Rose-Hulman, our semifinal second half coming up in just a couple of moments. Tonight's matchup brought to you in part by Risk Work. We make people feel safe. We protect your business. You live safe, and we've got you covered. Call Risk Work 317-379-6755. And by the Labor's International Union of North America. They're the Build America Union, 500,000 strong, fighting for better wages and benefits, safer job sites, and greater opportunities. We are LIUNA. Well, here we go. By the way, no score in our other semifinal. They are at halftime, which is a little bit of a surprise there. You're talking about the number 1 and number 4 seeds going at it on the other side of the bracket, and I think you were even a little surprised by that, weren't you?
Yeah, so, again, both of these two teams that we're watching, and you see a lot of reasons why they got here, and they haven't lost in over a month, with one exception, Mount St. Joseph's. So Mount St. Joseph's has some weapons in their arsenal. So yeah, I would expect them to beat Hanover, but it's postseason, and anything can happen.
Boy, and we have seen that time and time again. One thing for sure, Chris, and when you've been around athletics enough, never be surprised. As I said earlier in the first half, when you get into tournament play and you know that your season could be coming to an end, I'm not saying players don't play hard during the regular season, but you have a tendency to kind of let the aches and pains not bother you as much as you see here Rose Holman in the attacking third. But you kind of ignore some of that stuff. Here's a pretty good ball right here.
Yeah, and that's what's so fun about it. I mean, a team can clamp up, maybe something goes wrong early in a game, and then all of a sudden, the game's getting late and it's tied or you're down. Yeah, that's why people flock to sports.
Well, we'll be curious to see how Transylvania will play this in the second half. As we said earlier, will they gamble and how much will they gamble? And for Rose Holman on the other side, generally you're going to see a lot of ball control. You'll see possession time probably go up.
And you see Taylor Beatty there just perfectly content, just hit the ball sort of carelessly out of bounds, waste a few seconds off the clock.
By the way, one other note, Hernandez for Rose Holman starting the second half because she was such an impact player in that first half, and her ability to get that ball down the pitch as quickly as she did, just amazing watching her in person, how fast she is.
She's a sophomore too. Not that there aren't freshmen and sophomores on this field, because there definitely are. She's offsides right now, I think.
She said, you know what, I shifted gears backwards, so I wasn't really offsides too far. So nonetheless, Rose Holman will have a kick right in front of us. Taylor Beatty will put it in play. Generally, you watch, we were talking earlier, we did the Indiana Semi-State in Martinsville, Indiana, a couple of Saturdays ago, and just watching when a team is trailing, how their intensity really does pick up. And I'm always curious watching how this happens. You see now a kick will be happening, a free kick here for Rose Holman.
Official counts off the 10. I think this is the first true wall we've had in the game.
And Allie Smith will kick this one away. She is a left-footed kicker on this one, and a good ball, but a little bit high and to the left, but not a bad look.
Right idea. I mean, she wanted to score there, which I liked. I wanted her to take one herself. A little more bend. You see professional soccer players just curve that ball right in there. It's tough to do, but I like that she tried.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll do that if you're up 2-0. You're okay with taking a chance like that. Why not, right?
Yeah, right.
Throw in here near side for Rose Holman. By the way, that championship game, I'm going to ask you real quick, do we know what time it will be on Saturday for the men and the women? Have they given you an idea?
So my understanding is that they're at night unless a team doesn't have lights, and I could guess who has lights and doesn't, but I'd probably be wrong, so I won't. But yeah, it's my understanding that the key variable is whether or not the hosting team has lights.
Of course, if you're a Rose Holman fan, you're kind of cheering for Hanover tonight. Am I correct about that?
Yeah. You sure are.
It's amazing all the years I've done this that I came up with that all by myself, too.
Well, math, 1 to 4. I mean, really proud of you, Troy.
Thank you. I've often said I had a 4.0 in college, 1 point for every year, so I added them all up and came to 4.
That's very good.
Thank you.
That's very good.
You can use that anytime you want.
How did your parents feel about
they
that?
were proud. Nice ball. This one in the box and not far off from a header in a potential 3-0 contest.
That's Camille Clark, who kind of grazed her forehead a little bit, it looks like. Coming all the way up from her defensive position to participate in that play, as often happens on the set pieces.
Well, so far, we really haven't seen much of a game plan change here by Rose-Hulman. They're still very aggressive and putting a lot of pressure on Transylvania here in the second half as we made it under the 40-minute mark. Here's a chance now for the Fighting Engineers. Good look, and that's right into the awaiting arms of the keeper, but still looked like that. Was that Hernandez?
Yes, it was, and you see Riley Heasley's confidence in Hernandez too, because when she made that pass, I thought there isn't a lot of room to fit that in there, but who came up with it? Of course, it was Hernandez, and got a pretty good look.
Throw in here on the near side for Transylvania as we play at midfield, and so far Transylvania has not been able to advance it very far here in the second half. Generally, a lot of times as a team is trailing, you end up doing a lot of clock watching to see what we're going to have to do, as possessions will become a huge factor once we get later and later into the contest. You talked about it earlier, Chris. You're going to have to do some gambling and maybe move some more people up forward and try to make it a numbers game if you can.
And again, there you see the luxury that Rose has. We're not in any hurry.
Schuler had a pretty good ball there. And again, that's Hernandez. And Hernandez can be very dangerous right there, as Transylvania able to clear that one away, but it'll stay here with the Fighting Engineers.
You hear in sports certain players being sort of known for just having a knack for the ball, for finding the right place to be offensively to get that, that goal that no one else would have gotten because they didn't even make the run in the first place. And you can tell that Hernandez is that type of player. You just sort of know that she's going to be around that mouth of the goal, and if you can just find her even with one or two people around her, that she's probably going to come up with it.
Ball to the middle, and it's cleared away. Well, I've got to ask you then, on the same breath as that, when you have a Hernandez, and you can't really focus on any one or two players here because there's, again, several very good players that Rose-Hulman is putting out there offensively, and they keep putting the pressure on you. What do you try to do then? Do you try to make sure that at least one of them doesn't hurt you, or how do you want to try to defend them when there's so many good players there?
Well, if you have the luxury to do it, and it really depends on how broad the attack is, you can follow, kind of like in basketball when you don't play help side defense, you can kind of play a closer man-to-man defense on a player. What makes that tough with Rose is Hernandez and Schuler are different types of offensive threats. So if you pay too much attention to Hernandez, you're probably going to concede with Schuler, and vice versa.
And speaking of Schuler able to get this one up the pitch very quickly. A good ball to the middle, and it's going to be deflected to the outside. Boy, Rose-Hulman almost got another one there.
The best thing you can really do is be on offense a lot.
Yeah, exactly. It does help, doesn't it?
Yes.
Rose-Hulman is going to stay possession here. This is Beatty on the near side, lifting this one high to the middle. Schuler, will she get another look here, as that's going to be a little bit off the mark to the left, but again, a little deep shot on this one.
She shows you her one-track mind offensively. She's either going to cross it or she's going to shoot it if you give her just a little bit of space.
We'll be coming up on 10 minutes into this contest in the second half. Lauren Marquardt will come in for Rose-Hulman, one of the two goals in the first half. What a luxury it is to have to bring her into the lineup. Hernandez got the start in the second half. Marquardt did start earlier and will come in here in a few moments. And every time it seems like Transylvania is able to perhaps get it into the attacking third, the ball just finds its way back outside any threat. A little push right there. That'll be against Rose-Hulman.
A little bump. The home crowd didn't like it.
No. And generally, they never do.
Yeah, if you remember the first 10 minutes or so of the match, Transy kind of controlled the ball more than Rose did, but it's become a very different game than that. To your point early about just kind of that feeling out the other team a little bit.
Transy wanted a corner there, I do believe. At least that's what the coaching staff was signaling moments ago as we take a look at Schuler getting a much needed rest right here. You know, it's also when you think about trying to manage this game, but then you also know you need to be ready for Saturday, and so you got to make sure your players are well rested too as much as you can. And that's kind of a tough balancing act at times for a head coach and his staff.
Soccer way more than most sports. So, you know, these players and probably even these, you know, the center ref, a lot of times they're tracking their mileage in these games. They know how much they're running, and so it's like, you know, whatever, a cross-country meet or something like that, and your body, you do have to recover. I was at a Indy 11 match over the summer and got a chance to talk to the coach, and I asked him about his subbing patterns, and he was like, look, we got this other match that's more important on Saturday, and we got to be thinking about that even tonight. And, you know, soccer, that you don't get that very much in a basketball game,
right?
You know, or even a football game.
Yeah, I always find that, what do they call it now, work management or load management,
now
in
basketball, yeah.
Amazing. Now, Michael Jordan didn't agree with that. He probably saw what he had to say. So.
He had a few things to say about it, didn't he?
And again, I don't jump off the subject of soccer here, but if you've ever been to an NBA practice, and I've been to a couple of them, I'm just like, really? You need work management, load management on this? Well, we're coming up on 32 minutes remaining in this semifinal. Opportunity here. Boy, unfortunately, Transylvania could not get that ball back to the middle. It looks like we have a corner.
You see Garcia just kind of fend off the offensive player with her body, just trying to let someone behind her get it. Ends up going out of bounds, and, you know, could be a lot worse situation for Transylvania than that.
I don't have any stats in front of me, but I'm pretty sure this might be the first corner.
It's the first one I remember.
Yeah. Well, you see a lot of shifting going on inside the box.
That was a great ball.
Yeah. Well, for Transylvania, unfortunately, they came away with nothing on this one.
And that was Shelby Eidson, who was right in the goalie's face, as they often are, trying to get ahead on it, but ball goes sideways.
Ball past midfield as Transylvania will look to put it back in play. Unfortunately, it will go out of play here to the near side. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Officially Human. Their mission is to restore respect for game officials and recognize them as authorities on the field and the court. So do your part. Practice good sportsmanship. If we have no officials, we have no games. Now that Chris is into the broadcasting side of things in his life, which I'm sure will be, and I truly mean this, good things coming. You've been a coach and an official and a broadcaster. You very rare get a chance to see all three sides of that. So you'll have an insight that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah, and I feel blessed to have those different perspectives. You know, everyone doesn't get to do some of these different things, and they're all valuable, and they're all part of the the thing that unfolds in front of us that we come to love too, right?
Yeah.
Like every piece of those matters.
You're exactly right. And again, when it gives you that perspective to see it from the other person's point of view,
Yep.
and you look at things a little different. Well, Transylvania is going to have to pick it up here, down to 30 minutes remaining. That's going to go against Rose Hallman. I got a smile on your face on that one.
Yeah, I thought it was a good tackle. Got a lot of ball for Rose Holman, but the angle from which she came gave her very little margin for error. So I'm gonna default to the officials' perspective there. But yeah, it was a pretty good tackle, is what I will say.
Cotton Jim with a good ball there, knocked away, and then the header in for the score.
Wow. And what a difference that play makes.
Boy,
you
no
see them
kidding.
grab the ball and run out.
And they're not giving up that ball, are they?
Trying to catch a number here. So that was
that Olivia Thomas?
Olivia Thomas, yeah. She has 2 game-winning goals on the season. I did catch that. She's got a ways to go for a game winner in this one, but a big one there. And that certainly changes the next 30 minutes of this game.
So 2-1 your score.
That's such a great example, too, in this game, in soccer, how quickly the opportunity can come, because it looked like for, the whole second half, Transylvania hadn't looked dangerous at all in terms of any sort of attack, and then bam, there it is.
Hernandez quickly trying to come back the other way as that one ricochets off a Transy player. And now, as you said, the whole dynamic has changed here for Transylvania. Kind of feel they kind of marching with a little different step now.
Absolutely. Yeah, a level of confidence that you didn't have 1 minute ago.
Of course, this will change the dynamic too for Rose Hallman. See how they'll come back. We talked about their game plan. Really didn't look like it changed too much. That'll be a foul there against Transylvania. I think you said earlier, though, you really don't come away from your game plan too much, though it is different now at 2-1. Well, this is still a team for Rose Hallman that can put one in pretty quick. So if you're Transylvania, you still have to be a little bit careful here and don't, you say, play too many players forward and leave your defense and your keeper all alone.
Yeah, that's a main reason why things changed with that 2-1 is now you don't have to play as risky. You can play pretty straight up, even if it's, play straight up to a 0-0 tie for the next 25 minutes, and then you've got 2 minutes of frenzy, or maybe it's more like 5 or 10 minutes of frenzy. But yeah, you can be a bit more conservative in a good way here with 2-1 versus 2-0.
Transylvania with a throw in here on the near side. That was Peyton Tan who put it in play. You can hear the Rose Hallman coaches talk about staying behind. This one deep in the corner, but kept in play.
It's offsides.
Yep.
Your favorite rule.
Yes.
So that's why they're talking about playing behind, because you can see Transy trying to sneak little runs like that one. And it was a pretty good ball. It was a pretty good pass. I can't see the angle the way the official can see it, but
well, nonetheless, turnover there for Transylvania.
See, suddenly Transylvania winning some balls that they haven't won in this entire match. And again, that's to your point that, suddenly feels a little more manageable.
Yeah, and once you get a little momentum, too, that kind of changes things as well. And, boy, look at the foot race for a ball here. Trying to go back to the middle. Hernandez. We have seen her do that time and time again, as that will be scooped up.
Every time it's in her vicinity, it feels like, she might do something here that results in a goal.
Yeah, she is not too far off, for sure. Two teams that, again, in a league that has not had a ton of scoring, when you consider that Rose-Hulman is number 3 in the conference with 29, Transy number 7 with 20, but today 2-1 your score.
Be interesting to see, too, how much longer Sydney Schuler stays on the sideline.
I would imagine that's probably not going to be too much longer. Ball near midfield. Going to have a couple of changes for Transylvania. Next dead ball opportunity. In fact, they're going to bring in 4 new players.
Try to get that burst of second wind.
And I would venture to say, too, if you get an opportunity, you bring in 4 and have some well-rested players for that stretch run.
It's an interesting play there. You had the fans on Rose-Hulman reacting. The official calls it late and brings the ball back. So usually that means, you know, they probably said play on. There was a foul. We're going to let the offense progress, move forward, because they have a little bit of an advantage. But then if they lose that advantage, we're going to pull it back and we're going to give them the set piece.
Marquardt with a nice ball, but picked in midair. We just have received word that Hanover is winning their semifinal matchup.
Have to imagine that a few folks. Well, that's interesting. You don't see that hand pop up in the air like that very often.
It was just a little one.
I have to think that there's some other people here who are keeping an eye on that score. As we've talked about, there's huge implications for if Hanover would upset Mount St. Joseph's in that game.
Yeah, it'll shake up a lot of things. By the way, that was Hernandez who went down near midfield. She is back up and continuing to play as a couple of players had to find a way around the midfield official. We are at 23 minutes and counting here in the second half. This is Allie Smith.
Got that strong left foot.
Well, that's always dangerous. That ball gets inside the box like that, and so many bodies trying to shift for a ball. Hernandez went for the header there, unable to come away with it. The worst thing you can have as a keeper is have all those bodies in front of you and not really see where the ball may be.
Really quietly impressed with Garcia in the back. That's number 31. She has such great control. Of course, she makes me look bad there by missing one, but
uh-oh. Here.
No one's perfect.
Nope. Here come the Pioneers looking back toward the middle. Boy, and that defense coming up to get a double there. It went past the end line. Subs are coming in. Transylvania will come with 4. And even Rose-Hulman will make a change in their lineup.
And there comes Schuler.
Alex Adams is coming in, and you mentioned Schuler, number 9, checking in. Hernandez will get a little bit of a break here. Fighting Engineers trying to get this one out of their own zone and unfortunately unable to clear it. Boy, a good fight for the ball in your own territory. You have a tendency to maybe hurry a little bit too much, try to get it out of there. Now at midfield.
Oh, good ball.
There's Schuler. Takes a look. Good ball to the middle and a collision. And then the keeper comes out. Yet another player come in. Looked like that was number 14, which was Alex Adams, who went hard on the turf.
Got an injury. I think that was foot versus goalie, and goalie won that.
I think it was a pretty good gamble, though, if you're looking at
Sure.
Rose Holman.
Sure.
Make this a 3-1 lead, but
Alex Adams is limping a little bit, but she looks like she's okay.
yeah, it'll wear off quickly when that.
Disguise the
the
collision with the
exactly,
goalie. If
yeah.
I look hurt a little bit, then it's not as.
We mentioned Schuler now twice able to get this one into the attacking third. She has made a huge difference since coming into the lineup.
She didn't like something about how that developed there. She had some words about the attack. But yeah, I've been surprised at how much space she's getting on that outside. I would have to think if you're Transy, one of the things you do, especially if your Hernandez isn't in the game, is we got to know where she is, and we can't give her room to run on that right side.
That foul went against Allie Smith. I think that she thought that she was the one that was fouled, and unfortunately it'll go back over for the Pioneers.
We always think we're the ones fouled, don't we?
Yes. It's funny how that's always a 50-50 call there, isn't it? One team thinks it is, one team thinks it isn't. The same with the fans. So Transylvania trying to work this one as they get it into the attacking third here. Unfortunately for the Pioneers, unable to advance it, and it goes out of play, but a nice job there by Rose Holman, getting yourself in position down low to make sure it stays with the Fighting Engineers, as Katie Choi will check back in.
We talked about Trancy's substitutions in their previous matchup, and you can see kind of the strategy on the Rose Holman side of keeping their bodies fresh.
That ball was intended here for Schuler. Unfortunately, it was off the mark. So now the Pioneers on a throw, and you mentioned on that backside and how well tonight that Garcia has played. Garcia came back able to get one there, as this will be cleared high in the air here to the near sideline. Transylvania able to hold on to it, but only for the moment as it goes out of play. Mackenzie Wallace there, the freshman out of Lexington, Kentucky.
Rose Holman probably got away with a dangerous play there. Usually when the kicking foot goes that high, a whistle follows when there's a body close by. Ooh, dangerous.
Boy. Oh, no kidding. And then stopped, and the ball still caroms. Wow. That was too close for comfort if you're a Rose Holman fan.
This game is far from over, in case that isn't blatantly obvious. Oh, here we go.
Nice play by Garcia once again. Player is a little shaken up here for Transylvania. Looks like that's number 32, which is Kerrigan, Gracie Kerrigan out of Union, Kentucky. She is a sophomore. We have a new player coming in for the Pioneers as Ellie Held will check in. She is out of San Antonio, Texas. Well, the Pioneers will not be able to apparently bring in Ellie Held as of yet. Injured player is off the pitch. And it won't be long because Kerrigan's going to come right back into the lineup. This stage, you know that when the season's on the line, you have a tendency to have those injuries will go away pretty quick. We talked about that a little bit ago.
They sure will. We'll suffer tomorrow.
Yeah.
Win or lose.
Unless your leg has fallen off, you're going to stay in the lineup. Because now you're getting pretty close here to the crunch time of start watching that clock.
What a battle.
Well, we talked about when this whole thing might pick up a little more physical as Schuler deep in the corner getting a battle there.
Brilliant play by Schuler. So, you know, for probably 20 yards there, it's just a 50-50 battle, and she keeps, you know, pressing the ball deeper and deeper into the corner, and then finally she gets there and just plays it off the defender for a corner kick.
Schuler lifting this one high in the air, and boy, how about the play of your keeper for Transylvania, Carrie Stevens.
Needed to happen too, because there was a Rose player waiting there for the header.
So 72nd minute of that Mount St. Joe Hanover. They're now tied at 1 apiece. Good centering ball that time by Schuler will be knocked out of play, and a couple of changes both ways. Transylvania will come with Tegan Fahey, and on the other side it'll be Lena Durini. Durini is a sophomore out of Toronto, Ontario.
Schuler is definitely showing some body language of fatigue. Certainly she's made a lot of runs down that right sideline tonight.
Oh, yeah. Boy, this could be dangerous right here, but the ball rolls into the awaiting arms of Stevens, and under 15 minutes now. Well, there's a lot of red and white jerseys right here in midfield. Really, at this stage, knowing every possession could be huge. Boy, and the throw-in was off the mark, but again, Rose Holman able to reset defensively, and boy, there's that defense again. Garcia doing her job.
Let's see what kind of long throw we can come up with in this moment.
I should mention that wind has picked up a little bit. It could be a factor here as we get later into the second half.
Oh, good look from Schuler.
Oh, you can hear the Transylvania coach telling his team to drop. That one is lifted high in the air and just over the goal, but again, when you hear the coaches say, you got to, bottom line, you got to better get back because we're going to be in trouble if you're not. And they were on a dead sprint once they got to midfield, and you just got to turn and run.
Adams looked like she was a little bit indecisive there. Do I want to try to cross it? Do I want to shoot it? Do I just want to keep it and waste time? She eventually launches, and nothing hurt by that.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Family Source Insurance. Pat Cherry is your independent agent, proudly representing Ohio Mutual Insurance. Give him a call if you'd like more information at 317-894-7000. Here's Schuler. Schuler.
There it is.
Got it.
Like, what a night for her. 2 goals and an assist.
Well, and that's the last thing you wanted to have happen. You can't let Schuler pretty much have it one-on-one, especially on this right side.
Yeah, and she strikes it so perfectly into the left.
Take another look.
So first of all, great ball across to her. And then you can see her carefulness here. She knows this is an opportunity. She plays it right down to her feet, and then she finds the top left there. No goalie is getting to that one.
Yeah, I like how you talked about that where, listen, a lot of players would get overexcited about that and maybe just take a whack at it. For Schuler, controlled it.
Yep.
And then went from there.
Played it perfectly.
Schuler, the sophomore out of Bloomington, Illinois. Again, 2 goals here tonight. They get one back, and now A 3-1 lead here in the second half. That is Schuler here trying to get a takeaway on the near side. And then unfortunately for the Pioneers, they kick that one out of play. Goes back over again to Rose Holman. Natalie Morrow will check in. She's out of Woodstock, Illinois. Guess where I was born? Woodstock, Illinois. What are the odds, right? And I'm sure the fans that are listening are like, okay, big deal. Let's move on. Every once in a while, we try to give you a piece of useless trivia that you'll never want to hear about again. So.
Just to see if you're listening.
That's right. Throw in now for the Pioneers. Now let's see how they're going to game plan this the rest of the way. Again, they worked so hard to make it a 2-1 contest, and boy, you give up that one, and now you're down 3-1. You have 12 minutes to get it figured out now.
Really difficult ask. The way this Rose Holman plays disciplined defense. And you even see Schuler ducking down from her forward spot to clean up anything in the back right now.
Yeah, we watch her here from our vantage point here on the
and
near
there it is.
side. Yep, there she is.
Who clears it out of there?
Well, you really have to love a player that not only can score for you, but then is also a very high IQ player like she is.
Well coached, this Rose Holman group. Not just individually, though. There are a lot of individual impressive efforts going on in front of us, but the way they rotate collectively, the way they talk, the way they anticipate each other's strengths.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see here. And again, we're going to see which one of these players for Transylvania is going to be able to step up their game a little bit here, especially when you talk about players that have been at the top of their game all season long and hope they can find another level to go to here. That is Garcia on the backside there, and there's Schuler again.
We talked about on the front of the broadcast that neither team had, players up front with gaudy statistics, but after watching this game, I'm a little bit surprised that Schuler hasn't done more damage than she has, that Hernandez hasn't done more damage than not that they have bad numbers at all,
right?
Because they've had good seasons, but man, are they talented.
A couple of changes now for Transylvania as they're trying to find a right combination here as we're under 10 minutes remaining. 3-1 Rose Holman. Winner again will move on to the championship on Saturday. Here's a deep one, and that's easily hauled in. And I'll tell you what, Rose Holman will take that all day long. You want to shoot it from 40 yards out, go ahead.
And if you're Transylvania, you kind of have to.
Yeah, you don't have a whole lot of time to try to get it in close every time.
And sometimes you do that, and maybe there's a rebound opportunity.
And that a lot of times involves a little bit of luck in there too.
Yep.
That's Garcia again. Schuler near side. Schuler taking a look. Of course, double team coming her way. Whoa, she goes between two players, left-footed, got bumped from behind. Ball is still loose out front. That was a heck of a move.
Got to have that in your toolbox because so much of the time she just goes up the right side and then crosses, and then if you show that once or twice and you're like, oh, I can actually cut it up into the middle. She didn't look quite as dangerous shooting it off of her left foot, so maybe that's a part of her game that she gets to work on the next couple seasons. But yeah, that was she's practiced that move once or twice.
I have a feeling that those double teams will come a little more often too. I want to remind you tonight's game brought to you in part by Aspen Creek Grill. Why go anywhere else if you're looking for fresh, amazing food? Servers who truly care about your experience. make sure you check out Aspen Creek Grill. Good place to go if you're heading out this weekend to watch some college football. The NFL, of course, on Sunday. Aspen Creek Grill. And how about this? Schuler again. She does a great job surveying what's ahead of her. That the ball does come out of bounds here in the near side. It will stay here with the Fighting Engineers. And here's where you see a little strategy of using a lot of clock.
Talked about the midfield early in this game and the importance of, you know, when you got two defensive-minded teams winning in the midfield. And, you know, as Schuler makes these runs, I mean, she's impressive and she's played a great game. But there are also just times where she just has so much space, you know, almost no matter where she gets the ball, whether it's in the front third or whether it's at midfield. And, you know, maybe Transy just doesn't have someone who can run with her, you know, up and down. But also from just an attention perspective, I would expect her to be getting way more attention than she's getting, as successful as she's been in this game.
Heard the Transylvania coach telling the official in front of us about the time that was coming off the clock between the time that the whistle blew and the play began. So he's very concerned that maybe too much time running off, huh?
And it's a normal fight in the second half of soccer games is how much time is getting wasted. Of course, you see there, oh, you know, let's swap throwers here, you know. Takes the extra few seconds.
Well, and I'm sure if it were on the other foot, you'd do the same thing, right?
Yeah. You'd probably have a solid plan in place.
All right, here's what we'll do on this one. Well, under 6 minutes now, it's going to take a heck of an effort here for the Pioneers, and you kind of see their body language a little bit different than maybe it was earlier when it was 2-1, which would be expected for sure. But
yeah, that third goal was devastating for Transylvania.
Yeah, they, of course, you talk about the amount of energy that a lot of players use during a game. You get to this stage and you're pretty much kind of tuckered out at this point. Rolls Holman there as well to at least stop it for the moment. And the last thing you want to do is give up anything here if you're Rolls Holman and make it a 3-2 contest, which we would have never thought it would be even 3-1. The numbers at the beginning we talked about just did not really show us it was going to be a 3-1 contest. But again, this is the Rose Holman team, has played very well at home this year, 6-2, trying to make it 7-2. And listen, there again, they're going to be fans of Hanover, and if the somehow Panthers able to pull out a win as the number 4 seed, you get a chance to play at home again.
They'll be on this field again in a few days.
Dangerous ball in the attacking third, but Schuler does the wise thing and will kick this one out of play. And
she is tracking so much ground on that right side.
Got an injured player now for, and it looks like it might be just a cramp for the player for Transylvania, and it is. So the coaches can pretty much make their way back. And again, when you're looking at a game like this, a little bit cooler than maybe what we're used to, you cramp up pretty easily. I want to remind you tonight's game has been brought to you in part by Wheeler Mission. For over 131 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community, providing help, hope, and healing to people in need. If you'd like to volunteer or would like more information, give them a call, 317-686-6239. Just over 4 minutes remaining. There is Schuler again. She's been a thorn in the side of the Pioneers. Not only just the 2 goals, but the way she is playing here. Guess who again? Pioneers may be down to their last gasp of air. They're going to have something work very quickly. Unfortunately for them at this stage, just getting it down the pitch quick enough, you're going to end up at least 20, 25 seconds at a time. And Rose Hallman is very content of just clearing this one away.
Rose Hallman is so relentless. The way that the effort that they're playing with up front while up 3-1 with 3 minutes to go is just tells you most of what you need to know about the way this team is coached.
Under 3 minutes. Schuler was right behind the play right there as another turnover for the Pioneers. I know that's a long bus ride back to Transylvania down in Lexington, Kentucky, but we'd certainly love to be making that trip with a win. Unfortunately, if you're a Pioneer fan, it's not going to happen tonight. LifeWise Academy, another one of our sponsors. They have programs that support educators and communities by improving student outcomes. With LifeWise Academy, your community can bring biblical values back into the classroom. Give them a call, 614-367-5767. And right now, the Pioneers just have been a little frustrated, even trying to get it into some type of scoring position here. And wisely, right there, your keeper able to come up and make the play there, and you're down to a minute 35. Well, I know you're going to give us some of your final thoughts here on what to expect on Saturday, depending on who Rose Hallman will play. We'll get those final thoughts coming up here in just a couple moments. We'll be closing it up pretty quick and then thinking about what will be happening. We'll have both games, both the men's and women's championships on HCAC.TV on Saturday. And I know you want to check out the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference website on the times of the men's and women's games. Of course, both the semifinals for the men are tomorrow. Have a stoppage of play there at 51.1.
Side official got something there. And one takeaway, from tonight to Saturday is that, home or away, Mount St. Joseph's or Hanover, and pretty much regardless of previous contests, is the way this Rose Hallman team is playing. They're perfectly capable of winning on Saturday.
I agree. Last opportunity there for Transylvania. Want to remind you tonight's game also brought to you in part by Morales Group Staffing. They're in business to create a better future for you, your family, and the community we share. Whether you're looking for the right career or the perfect candidate, they're here to help. Give them a call, 317-472-7600. It is now a final as Rose Hallman, the number 2 seed, advancing with a win tonight over Transylvania by a final of 3-1. Your final thoughts on this one here this evening? I know you're very impressed with Rose Hallman here tonight. Give Transylvania credit. They made it a 2-1 contest and looked like it was going to be different, but then Schuler got her second goal to ice it.
Yeah, and congratulations to this Transylvania team. They had a really impressive second half of the regular season to even get to this point. And but Sydney Schuler, I mean, she did everything tonight, and she had a lot of help from every level of her teammates, from all the way back to the goalkeeper position to the defensive line, who were incredible, especially early in the game.
Well, I want to thank John Lester, who gave us the ambiance here tonight upstairs, and, of course, for Nick, our producer. We want to thank you for being with us. I know Chris will be back coming up this weekend. We'll find out soon where he will be on the men's side. But tonight, Rose-Hulman, they beat Transylvania 3-1, and they advanced to the championship on Saturday. Thanks for being with us. This has been HCAC Soccer on RHIT.TV.